Hello and welcome to the first video in a series that I'm going to be putting together for a contest on mytractorforum.com. In these videos I will be taking apart, cleaning, and reassembling a Briggs & Stratton updraft carburetor off of 1971 15 horsepower synchro-balanced engine. So to start with, I have removed the muffler from the tractor, and what I will do is I will proceed to gently put this rag in the exhaust port so that no contaminants can get in there. There's no battery in the tractor, but I've still disconnected the spark plug so that no electronical anything can really happen that'll put me in harm's way because I'm working with gas here. This is a fluorescent light, and it's in a plastic tube which will not heat up. There are no jerry cans nearby, there's no fumes, very clean air. You'll notice I have a clean working space, and the tools that I will be using for this first part are 2 flathead screwdrivers and a pair of doctor's forceps, these little scissors. So I'll start by putting the forceps to clamp this fuel line here, which goes from the tank into the mechanical fuel pump. Actually, it's a diaphragm pump. And I will also start by removing the air filter, as that kind of cumbersome and takes up a lot of space. First wing nut allows me to remove the outer housing. There's a second wing nut right here that holds down the actual cleaner. It's a 2-part air filter. It's a paper-plastic combination on the inner side, and the outside is a foam ring. And here's what the air cleaner looks like, kind of dirty. Could probably use a new one at some point. Done with that, and I'll just put that over to the side here. So there's 2 places from which you can detach the carburetor. There are 2 Phillips head screwdriver holes here, and which can also accept a flathead. And there are 2 Phillips head screwdriver holes here. What I will do is I will take these 2 off first so I can remove this mechanism, and then I'll take the intake tube off of here to clean and inspect the intake manifold. So to start with, what I need to do is disconnect these fuel lines from the fuel pump so that the entire assembly can come off. I'll just take care of this like so. Just a standard fuel clamp, very easy to deal with. Loosen it up a little bit. Slide it off. Loosen this one off. This bottom fuel line is the vacuum breather line that runs from the innards of the engine into the fuel pump, and that is what actually causes the sucking, or the little rubber diaphragm within the fuel pump does, which pumps the gas. So this one's being a bit of a pig to come off. It always is. Alright, so we have disconnected our fuel lines. Next, because we still don't have enough rotational area to take the fuel pump off, we're going to have to proceed to take off the carburetor itself. Take our flathead screwdriver and just like that. Slightly angled screw, there we go. Now you're going to want to support the bottom of the carburetor because these are really the only 2 things that hold it from falling. So just loosen those, and essentially our carburetor is off now. Next step is to remove the throttle cable, which I have just done. And the last thing before the carburetor is completely detached is to loosen this nut which holds the choke lever on, and in my haste I have forgotten to get a pair of vice grips. I'm just going to gently put this carburetor down and be right back with the vice grips. Okay, let's see how I'm doing with time. Okay, I got about 2 minutes left before I gotta change out the batteries on this camera. So I have got my vice grips, and I hold my carburetor like so. And you see that I need to adjust my, put some more tension on here. And if you see any fuel come out of the bottom right here, this is just excess fuel that was left within the pump or the carburetor, so nothing to worry about. Is that about right? Yep. Very gently, don't want to ruin the threads because that would probably be a pain in the butt to tap. Loosen it up a little bit and pop the choke cable out, and you'll see on this rotating piece here, which opens and closes the choke, we want to have it on the top set. Just throw it out, and there we go. We have taken the carburetor off, and so you can see the air intake is right here. And this is the breather tube from the engine, and we have our bowl. If you're looking at it from the front here, we have fuel pump, main throttle control, idle mixture screw right here, throttle control, and right here this is our actual throttle butterfly. And I'll just very simply, very gently as well, unscrew this fuel pump mechanism, which just a couple rotations off the body of the carburetor and comes right off. So there we go. Step one is complete.